Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new weekly episode of War in the East 2 Editor tutorials. And yes, the time has come to finally dive into, I think, the most interesting of all the tabs, which is of course the Units tab. As I said multiple times, I left it at the end because if I wanted to start from this tab, like either I would have needed to make at least 3 separate tutorials, or I would have needed to make one, let's say 1 hour and 20 minutes, 1 hour and a half long tutorial episode. And hopefully by now you are familiar with the interface, you know the meaning of the color coding, even though there are some differences comparing let's say the Units tab color coding and the air groups color coding. And of course with this interface, and of course with the list of units in this case. Briefly, let's talk about the color coding. The let's say light blue refer to the units which are never appearing, just like the air groups. The white in this case indicates the units which are on the map. And the where are they? There are some units which are exactly like this one here. These are the units in this pink purple are the units that are already active at the beginning of the scenario, but they are not on the map. And as you can see, they are in this case in the Western Europe theater box. And coming up again to the top right hand side section, we do have again the infamous 3 buttons that you must never click, and actually you have to forget about them: insert, multi, and delete. Never ever ever use them. Clear and disable, that they do the same things that we have seen in the air groups tutorial. Cut, copy, paste, it's quite intuitive. Mark, now this is a new one in the Units tab. Mark is used if you want to play around with units in the Units tab. And I mean, if you want, for instance, to say pinpoint the Axis allies high commands, then you have to click over here, and over here, and then you click over here on marked. And now here you the editor will only display the marked units, and exactly as shown over here. The best way, if you want to somehow remove the marks, just click over here, and you are redirected to this list over here. Tagged, the tagged units, we'll see in a second how to add the tag, but small spoiler, it's used in the event editor, and we will talk more about this in the respective tutorials. So having seen the okay, of course, yes, here we have the previous unit, and next HQ. We do also have the find button that I forgot to mention in the air groups tutorial, but the function is the same. In the old editor, so this one here, if you want to find a specific unit, you have to type in, ideally, if you know it by heart, the whole name, like in this case, for instance, the 399th Infantry. I think it's a security division. Or if you want, if you exactly like in this case, if you don't remember the whole name, just type the number of the unit, and okay, here you have the guards, the rifle division. There is no, I guess the Germans didn't have a, exactly, they have the static division, not the 399th. Okay, my bad. Anyway, here you type whatever you want to find, and then you can just click next if you if there are, for instance, multiple units that begin with the same number, exactly like this. Let's click, for instance, on the OKH, which is an army group, sorry, an high command HQ. And again, here we have the units, which refers to the ID. Here you have the name. Here, when it says no tag, you can set the tag. And here you have the pre-existing tags. If you want to add a new tag, you click over here, add new new tag, and here you see enter new game event tag. Let's call it hi command. And if you want to modify the tag, because now you don't see that the OKH is tagged, you go here and you click here on set color, and for instance you can set it to red, this bright red that blinds you completely. And when you click over here, you see that the OKH now has been tagged, and if you click on tagged, you see that the OKH now appears in the tag list. If you want to remove a tag, you have to go here and you have to click here on clear tag, and now the OKH is no longer tagged, basically. Higher HQ, in this case it's kind of intuitive, is the OKH itself. If you click on, for instance, Army Group Center, again is the OKH. If you click on, for instance, on the, okay, maybe not this one, but exactly, this is the HQ of the 4th Army, and you see that the higher HQ is not the OKH, but actually Army Group Center, which means that the 4th Army is attached to Army Group Center. Army Group Center is now in between the 4th Army and the OKH, which makes sense because for the Axis and for the Germans, the correct chain of command is the OKH, Army Group HQ, Army, and then Corps HQ. And if you click over here, exactly, the 1st Corps is attached to the 18th Army, and now the higher HQ is exactly the 18th Army. Let's actually stick to the 4th Army. Here you have the leader. The leader can be assigned over here. Here you have the list of leaders, and the color coding is again quite intuitive because you see the leaders which are available are in this beige. The leaders which are already busy are not only in green, but what is very nice of the editor is that you even see which unit is currently led by the selected leader. And oops, sorry, I think it was von Kluge. Exactly. Von Kluge, exactly, perfect. And here you have again the total number of men or manpower, guns, and armored fighting vehicles. And then you have the element ID, the experience, how many elements are ready, and then here DAM indicates the damaged elements. If you click on DAM, you can actually change 2 more parameters. The first one is the fatigue of the elements, and the second one is how many elements are actually disabled. Now, damaged means that they will not take part in combat, but they can be repaired in the logistics phase. And during a retreat, damaged elements will be disabled or destroyed. And disabled are, of course, the elements which have been destroyed, and that will be, I would say, sent away in form of freight back to the nearest depot to be exactly replaced with fresh replacements. Over here you have the attached units, so which units are directly attached, in this case, to the 4th Army, and we have seen it last week in the air groups tutorial. If we go to, for instance, to the air bases, I think it's called Suwałki. Let's exactly, the Suwałki air base. Here you see that you only have air units, while if you go, for instance, to the 4th Army again, here you have support units like 8, and here in this case is units. If you go to the 20th Corps, exactly, you have 6 units. Now, units here denotes the combat units, so the units which are present on the map. They are visible on the map. And air, of course, refers to the air units. And here you have the list of all the units which, in this case, are directly attached to the 4th Army. Over here, then you have to set the HQ. In this case, the 4th Army is an army level HQ, and importantly, this is a non-air HQ, because if you want to set, for instance, the Luftflotte 1, exactly, this is an air HQ, which means that the commanding officer will be responsible for providing its, let's say, stats to all the air AOGs attached to, in this case, to the HQ of the 1st Air Fleet. Used to rename, again, forget about it. TOE, in brackets OB, is what you have to select when you want to create a new unit. Just to give you a rough example, over here, if you want to create a new unit, let's say a new Panzer division, for instance, you have to set the OB33. And here you have it, the NATO symbol of the tank and the double cross, which indicates the Panzer division. Here, you see that if you click on the name, you cannot change the name Panzer Division, but here you can only change the number. We can call it the 28th Panzer Division, and you cannot change it because the name Panzer Division is dictated here in the TOE tab. And now you understand why, first of all, I went through all these tabs, and now I'm going through the units tab. In this case, the OB is the 33, and if you click on suffix, there you have it, the Panzer Division. Let's go back to the 4th Army. Motorized. Now, this is the flag of the unit, and the flag of the unit is dictated once again by the TOE. If you click on, this is the TOE 11, which is the Army HQ, and you see it is motorized as all the elements of this unit are motorized. So when a unit is set to motorization all, then here you have to set it as motorized. The hypothetical 28th Panzer Division is motorized, and if you forget, because it happened to me a lot when creating the 1942 scenario, to motorize your division, I give you one small spoiler of the main tab, but here you have the scenario check utility. Now you click on this one and you select ignore delayed units. Yes. This is like an editor check that highlights all the bugs present in the scenario. In this case, it doesn't see that the 28th Panzer Division is not motorized because the 28th Panzer Division is delayed by, basically it never appears on the map. So let's briefly assign it, give it a delay, and HQ type is not an HQ. If you select the 4th Army here, you set the HQ type, and here you have none, high command, army group or front, army corps, air base, construction, or amphibious HQ. The first 5 are quite intuitive. The amphibious HQ is a unique unit available to the Soviets to conduct amphibious invasions. Construction, now don't be fooled by these, because construction indicate the famous railway repair units. Exactly, as you can see here, this is a construction unit, and we will talk a little bit more about these in a few seconds. Nation Germany, player axis, so let's also HQ type none, Germany and axis, and now we should see it exactly. Now when you set the nation and the player or the faction, here you can see now the destination of the unit. If you set it as the Soviets, and exactly, if you set it as the Soviets, you can only choose between these 4 theater boxes. If you set it as the Axis, you can choose between these 9 theater boxes. Now, location, delay, and arrival. If a unit is already on the map, then you have to click on location, and you have to manually click on an X of the map. Like in this case, I added the 28th Panzer Division in this X, and there we have it. It is here. And of course it is depleted because it doesn't have any element and is not attached to any HQ at the moment. Now, if a unit is delayed, let's say by 2 turns, and we want to, let's say, force the unit to spawn on the map, then you have to set here on arrival, not on location, on arrival. And if you click, for instance, on here, and if you click again on the map and you remove the units by pressing T or this button, you will see highlighted the arrival hex of the unit. This is incredibly useful to keep track of where your units are arriving on the map. If you don't want the unit to arrive on the map, simply select any of the existing tier boxes. And in this case, exactly, it will get this thick let's say labeling, and at the end you will see the tier box in which the unit will arrive. It is a bit bugged because even though it kept the arrival hex, actually we can do like this. Let's clear and let's recreate the 28th Panzer Division. It is of Axis in Germany, and delay, let's say 2, and Axis reserves. Exactly, now it says arrival 0, and just to remind you guys, you can change the set reserve tier box arrival hex over here, which can only, in the case of the Axis, can only be any axis that belongs to the initial Germany occupied area in the 1941 scenario. So the units can arrive ideally in this X, but not, for instance, in Brest, Litovsk. And yeah, exactly. And also they have to have, I think, at least 8 hexes away from an enemy occupied hex. And then what do we have? The special. Special is again a second flag that you can use to specify if the units belongs to the guards, to the Axis elite, the SS elite, the SS non-elite, the Luftwaffe elite, or the Axis allies elite. And the guards and the elite units will basically gain, I think, between +10 to +15 morale points compared to the non-guards and non-elite units throughout different stages of the campaign. Morale is the morale of the units, which again can be set between, I think, 35 and 99. You cannot go above 99 because somehow morale is set to only 2 digits. And detection level indicates how visible is the unit from the other side. And if we go over here, and in this case we need to deselect the fog of war. And why do I still see them? That's weird. Let me see if the 18th. Okay, so maybe in the editor is bugged, but normally you should not see all these units over here. And the higher the detection level is, and where is the Fort Farm? Yeah, the higher the detection level is, and the more information you get about the enemy unit. Exactly, like the type, the size of the unit, and the defensive and attacking values. Even though I remind you guys that if you want to have more accurate information, you have to engage the enemy unit in combat. Resupply unit. Now, technically speaking, this button does nothing per se, because you need to set over here, first of all, the values expressed in percentage, because it's easier in percentage than in actual numbers. And to make the math simple, let's say that we want double the amount of supplies, fuel, ammunition, and vehicles. So we set 200, 200, 200, and 200. And now if we click on resupply unit, boom, magic. Now we double the amount of supplies, fuel, and vehicles. In this case, no ammunition, because these guys don't fire weapons. And there we have it. we doubled everything that this unit has and needs. Also, this is important when you want to assign the say to replenish existing combat units, and this will have an effect also on the combat value of the unit itself. Current TOE percentage is 0. The first number refers to the ready elements. The total number refers to all of the elements, including the damaged ones. And maximum TOE, here you can set it between 50 and 100. Let's say 100, and that's it. Experience, size, ready, and variation, again, they do nothing, or better, you need to set them first before clicking on rebuild unit. And for instance, actually, let's bring the 28th Panzer Division to the map. And let's attach it. Actually, let's bring it here. And let's attach it to the 39th Motorized Army Corps. If I say it, it doesn't work here. Too bad. 29th Motorized Army Corps. Okay, perfect. And okay, so let's say that the 28th Panzer Division has 80 experience and it has a size of 100%, but only has a readiness of 95%. Variation indicates how much of all of these will be present in the division. For instance, if you set a variation of 10, just remember that the in-game engine calculates your variation minus 1. So if you set it to size 100 and readiness 95, and a variation of 10, I think the maximum the lowest values that you will see over here will be 91. And let's give it a shot. Yeah, exactly. So 91. Exactly. It doesn't go below 91. And by constantly clicking, you change the number of total elements and the number of ready elements. And I mean, this can be quite interesting to add some variability to your units. And now you see that the 28th Panzer has a attacking combat value of 38. If we click on resupply units, well, strangely enough, it didn't go up. That's quite surprising, because normally it does. Let's set it to variation 0 and readiness 100. Maybe that's... And if we set it to 0... yeah, now you see it went down to 19. And let's set it back to 200. And yeah, so this also is a very, let's say, practical check that fuel, ammunition, and vehicles are really crucial for your mobile units, while for non-motorized units, ammunition, especially ammunition and vehicles, are the two most important variables to keep into account here. Withdrawal schedule is the same that we've seen in the air groups. Here you can set the turn, for instance, and the destination. Turn number 5 goes to Western Europe, and if you want to disband it, 101. If you want to remove it, 102. That's simple. Combat prep are the CVPs. The maximum is 100, and yes, there it is. Amphibious prep are the amphibious preparation points, which are used, I believe, only by the amphibious HQ units. Restrict rebuild. This means that when this unit is destroyed, this unit will not anymore. If it's clicked on, if it's set on yes, it means that this unit will no longer arrive to the reserve theater box after a certain number of turns to be rebuilt. So If you set it to restrict rebuild yes, once it's gone forever. There is no way to rescue this unit again. Now, coming back to the motorization flag. Now, in theory, if I am not mistaken, it should say exactly that the 28th Panzer Division has a motorization conflict of 3, because in this case, the 28th Panzer Division is set as non-motorized. If you set it to motorized, and actually I think before I said ignore delayed units, yes, no, I was wrong. I should have said no. My bad. Now, exactly, is gone. And yeah, I would say that that's it. That's all for this tutorial. But actually, no, I forgot one thing. Before you ask me in the comments, how do I play around with units? If you want to add new units and you don't want to follow to look for specific TOEs, you're afraid of messing up with the motorization, just take an existing unit, copy it, and rename it. And then you can play around with the size, the readiness, and the variation, and the supplies, ammo, fuel, and vehicles at will. Also, I didn't tell you, the variation also affects the experience and the morale. Experience can be set maximum at 255, and yes, forget about this. Maximum morale is always 99. And with 255 you almost have immortal units, because they will hardly take any hit, even though I don't recommend 255, because 255 kind of glitches the game. And as I mentioned in the air groups tutorial, if you set it to 256, it will roll back to 0, and to 60 it should go to 4, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The mysteries of war in the East, too. And one question that could come up in the comments is, how do I add more railway repair units to the Axis? As I said, you can copy the FBD units, like in this case this one here. Remember that they are construction HQs, and then you have to attach construction units. You can have as many construction units as you want, but remember that you should not go below 5, otherwise the FPD will lose rail repair values and rail repair capacity. To attach a unit, a construction unit, to an FPD, you have to, for instance, let's reactivate the first OT. You click over here, and then you have to find either you click over here on FBD 1, and you select the new HQ, and now if you click over here, there we have it. The first Organisation Tot Construction Battalion is now attached to the FPD 1. And remember, if you want to have, let's say, non-human controlled railway repair units, you need to have a construction battalion with the name either as the OT, Rail, RR, or RAD. With these 4 prefixes, the unit will be kind of recognized as a railway repair battalion, and the AI will use it in the logistics phase to repair damaged railways. And yeah, I would say that's all for this tutorial. I hope I could teach you something new. And well, as always, folks, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. In the next episode, we will briefly talk about the main window over here. And then we will talk, I think, also about the editor, the editor, yeah, the commander's report. Then there will be an episode about renaming units and air groups and the use of the new editor. And then we will talk about the event editor. And there will be at least 3, if not 4, tutorials about the game event editor. And that's it, folks. That's all for this tutorial. As always, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you all the best, and well, I'll see you all again in the next tutorial.